Yeah, so as this requested by you all, this is going to be a less than 1 hour session. So just to discuss the assignment, and if there are any clarifications that you need on the things that we have done or anything you want to discuss other than the things that we have done as well. Great. So let's start the assignment discussion first, no? So that we can complete it. Okay, let me share the screen. And by the way, I think it will be extended as most of you have requested. I'm not sure that Prabhani Madam have already informed you. It will be extended, so no worries about that. Okay, let me just share the screen.
So is it to March 3rd?
It's going to be for March
2nd, no 3rd.
March
First.
1st, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tuesday. Okay, nice. Good. So this the assignment. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay. Yeah. So individual assignment. So this time we didn't make any groups. So individual assignment. Yeah, each student must do a write up. Yes, that is what you have understood, and about the scenario, because this is going to be a scenario. A practical scenario has been given, and you need to come up with a solution. So that is what is the expectation. So how you are going to approach the solution, you need to write in your own words. So that is the expectation there. So that's what the second line says, less than 300, not more than 300, maximum 300 words. Okay. And database must be created practically. Yeah, in order to, yeah, go ahead.
Can you elaborate that about analysis? What we have to write about that?
Okay, let me come up in more detail. I'll tell you the scenario. After that, I'll give you more details on that. First, let me explain the scenario. Let's go to one by one here. Okay, I'll explain. Yeah, sure. And database must be created. Yeah, definitely yes, because you need to do hands-on here, and each and everyone has to have a database created. As we have, I can discuss on certain practical issues as well. And as per the channel, the guidelines are there. OS, you can use Windows. It is your preference, either on Windows or Linux, whatever. We need a database created because we need to get the commands and we need to have the screenshots. Yeah, screenshot, make sure when you are taking the screenshot to capture the time and the date separately, because I need to capture this taskbar, right? So that is a must. That is the format of artifact. So even though it is mentioned screenshots here, we expect an artifact. Artifact is I mean, evidence for trust. I mean, it's a proof that you have really done it. That's the artifact. So artifact must consist date and time. That's what has to be. Date and time has to be there. And again, I don't think I haven't make it so tough here. Each screen should cover date and time in the taskbar. That is the only expectation. Normally, artifact must have your computer name as well, but I haven't included that one. That's okay. Generally, artifacts will cover a computer name as well, but you don't need to try that one. You can include only the date and time. That will be enough here. Great, and each screenshot should have, okay. Students must be ready to do an oral explanation. Yeah, so we are going to have a discussion with you. So you should be able to explain on what you have done, your approach to the assignment, and it's more or less you are going to explain what you have written here actually, and you'll be questioning. And one thing to note is in this particular oral discussion, it's not going to be more than 10 minutes per student. For intellectual, we are not going to only limit it for the assignment. The discussion will be on what you have learned overall. And overall, because we have had six poll sessions, I think 7 poll sessions. So what you have learned during those things and your learning outcome. So that is what you're going to discuss mainly here, including your approach for the solution. So both will be discussed on this oral discussion, because we need to make sure that you have at least understood the industry requirement from Oracle database. Because if you are planning to build your career from Oracle, if you are selecting Oracle as your long-term career partner, what you have understood like that. I mean, so those are the things it will be discussed We are expecting your inputs, how you are looking at your knowledge you have gained, and how you are going to apply your knowledge for the industry you have gained, how you are going to build a solution. So we'll be testing that in that oral discussion mainly. That is all. But assignment also will be discussed. Maybe assignment discussion may be limited to 2 to 3 minutes. Rest of the 7 minutes, we are going to focus on the other factors that I just mentioned. Okay, so students must ready, okay, and all are supposed to complete, okay. Actually, this will be, no need to amend it here. It will be extended because in your LMS we can extend it, so that's fine. I will send the email as well, so that is okay. So it will be extended to 1st March, so we have enough time, I guess. Great. Now this is the task scenario. As a database administrator, you are supposed to implement the below requirement. So there's a requirement. Let's say you are a database administrator for a given organization, and there's a requirement for you to take care, and you are supposed to come up with a solution. So it's a kind of a scenario. So it's not a kind of a total solution, but it's a scenario. It's like a beginner's level one. And we can't do a POC here because we don't have that much of hands-on, but it's a scenario, kind of a solution. You are going to integrate several components. Mainly here will be the database. You are going to come up with a very basic solution for that. Okay. So you are a database administrator of the university automated system, okay, to track the students who are using K95 mask as a good health practice. You are going to track them when they are moving around essential requirements. So when they are moving out, whether they are using KN95 mask, it's a kind of a survey we're going to do here. Create an Oracle database which is required to manage the university student based on the following. So that's what it's a kind of a tracking system or kind of a survey. We need to find out when students or intellectuals moving out here and there to do their essentials, I mean, to their needs onto the environment, I mean, to the society. How many of they are using KN95 mask? So very simple requirement. And for that, we need to have a database. Database is going to be, I have given a name, health best practices, likewise, H best practices, likewise. So that's the name, should be there. And multi-tenancy is not required. It's a normal database. No need to enable that pluggable database architecture, contain and pluggable, no need to have that normal database. Keep all other Oracle Enterprise Edition defaults. You can just click database creation. No need to worry about whatever the options. Just you can use the wizard database configuration assistant. I think you all know that at the time of the installation, Oracle is asking to create a database. So you can follow the same steps, and just the only thing is give the proper name, because there's a place to give the database name. So give this name for that. And okay, let's say how many letters are there? There are
Yes,
yeah, go ahead.
so very sorry to disturb you. Can we create the database using the GUI?
Yes, exactly, because you have that tool. I hope you will have most of the...
We thought that we have to do that manually using the CMD. So that's why we asked for the extension as well.
No, don't worry. That's a big ask, no, that you can't do.
We already done the other commands, but we were stuck at the database creation with the manual. That's why.
No. That's a big ask because we can't be doing that much of detail within this 15 hours of lecture. So that's why I didn't touch that one. Because if you have to create a database manually, you need the create database command. Do you want to try out that? Do you
We searched everywhere, but in the Oracle documentation as well, they say they are not recommending go for a manual solution. But for the Windows, there's no any way to do that. But for the Linux, there are some ways, but the Oracle documentation doesn't recommend going for manual method.
No. It's better that you are asking that question. Let me check. 1 second. I have the description all here. Database creation manual. Since you are interested, I can tell you. Hold on. In the documentation, they have manual creation. create database. So this is the script and steps. So this is a little bit of a lengthy process, manual database creation. And this way I didn't explain this one to you. For the it takes around 2 hours. We have to allocate a dedicated session for this one if you start this. That's why I don't want to waste that much of time, because it's a phase 2 level. I mean, when you learn certain stuff with GUI, and when you do hands-on with your database, create table space, create user, and likewise when you get familiar with basic stuff with the database, doing some more commands, after that we can try out creating manual database creation. Of course, there are requirements to create manually. We can't say it is not recommended. It is either way, it's a choice, because Wizard, the GUI, this is the Wizard, DBCA. This one, database configuration assistant. I think you all know this one. So 19C database creation. Yes, so you can just click and go and create the database. But the thing is, this doesn't give that much of control over database creation. It will allow customizations, but limited. Of course, you can ask this fellow to get you a script done, because database creation, the manual script, create database command, we can ask this one to give the template. It will create the template for us. We can do it, but that is a Wizard. If we're going through manually, we need some prerequisites. There are steps. Exporting, this is in Linux, export Oracle SID, and we need to set the name here. In Windows, we say set Oracle SID, and Windows, we need to have a service as well. We know that, and Linux, we don't have such service. And likewise, there are prerequisites, and we need to create the parameter file as well. See, the parameter file is there separately, and we need to set those values. And after that, we need to start up with the parameter file, because initially we have to start with something called P file. P file is parameter file, a text file. After that, we need to create this P file. Once you start with the P file and the comparison also I have given, then you can start up no mount, because we can't mount, no, we don't have the control file yet, no. So only the parameter file we have. So bring up your instance. So the memory structures and everything will come. And having the instance up, you have to run this create database command manually. So this is the command, create database. You can see the length of the command is a single command. Create database, this is the name, and we are giving the sys password and everything. And you can see at the end only one semicolon. This is a single command, Oracle manual database creation, standard method. You can end up with even one command, right? And I can just tell you, Oracle database creation is simple as that. You can just say create database. It will create. Even without a name, it will create. This will create a database, no issues. Even if you try it single command, it will do it. Setting all the defaults. Got it? But it is not recommended. Don't try this, not recommended. So in case of you want to create a database manually to cater a production requirement, at least you need to come up with a minimum script like this. So this is a script which is catering the production requirements as well. And it's customized. You can see that even the log groups are multiplex. And likewise, we have the system DBF file, and we have the users DBF file with the undo DBF, temporary, everything is given here. Great. If you are interested, I will upload this. No issues for your learning. Interest but for your assignment, if you want, you can try. No issues. You need to change the challenge, you can. But make sure to follow all these steps, because just creating a database won't let you to log in and make it a workable database. Because we are doing from the scratch now. So because we don't have the VDOLA files. Even I mean, data dictionary views and things are not populated. So therefore, we need to run scripts. As soon as you create the database and it will open it, automatically it will open the database. After that, you need to run this catalog, capproc, utility RP, the script needs to be executed. Got it? So this is a complete guide to create a database manually. I will upload this one for your reference. And we have the GUI enabled because Oracle has the graphical console as well. So for that also XDB and the port setting and everything is there. Let me upload this one, but don't worry about the things beyond this point, right? So I'll put that line here. Let me, yes, log into syspub. Yeah, beyond this point, you better not try now because you'll be falling into trouble. Up to this point, yes. Try that one, no issues. Learning, good. Had the idea, I got the idea, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, buy one and then try can the bag it, no?
No, sir, I already tried those things, but I was ended up with the idle instance connection.
Yeah. In the documentation, this very comprehensively they are giving this. Create database is a separate chapter in the documentation. I can show you that. But for a beginner, it's too difficult to grab it because they are touching all the endpoints. No, from the beginning, very comprehensively they are explaining. So it's very difficult. It takes a lot of time to grab it. So that's why I have created a very simplified note like this to create the database. And this itself to complete the database creation definitely it takes 2 hours with the explanation and all. Definitely minimum is 2 hours. And other, I mean, it might take beyond that because the mistakes and all, these parameter file mistakes, those things will happen now. So error correction and all, it will take beyond 2 hours. So that's why I didn't want to take this one during the lecture because I mean the outcome may not be that much of productive. That's why, because we had to do a lot of other things. Okay, great. Anyway, I'll share this. I'll upload this one. You can try it out. And for your assignment, don't try it in this way. If somebody wants, yes, go ahead, please. And you just mention. And if you can mention that I have used the manual method when you're writing, see, now you have the write up. No, in the write up, you just mention you did the manual method. So that I mean, don't worry, that don't increase your marks, but but yeah, I mean, if somebody is trying manually, that means that particular resource is kind of smart. I mean, he has done a smart work, no? So that is how, that's why. Just mention that you have do it manually, done it manually. Great. Okay, coming back to that one and create a database. And this, when you give in the name, I think I just found earlier, I just noted, but it has 9 characters, right? By default, database will allow you to enter 8 characters, right? I think this has 9, no, 9 or 10. So don't worry, reduce the number of characters. Just reduce it, is fine. Don't worry about the database name, but just make sure it's something similar like this. Health best practices, likewise, okay? And yeah. Okay, any more questions up to this place? If you have, you can ask. Great, right. So I need a specific table space called this name mass track, and we need to have 2 GB of one data pipe, and create a user named KN95 admin. So that will be the admin user with a complex password. Yeah, we need to have the complex password, and having mass track. This table space has to be the default one as the default table space. Also, this user must have unlimited quota in the table space because the admin user, no, this particular table is in the particular table space, it must be having unlimited quota, and give necessary privileges to the yes session creation, table creation, index creation. So you need to give, otherwise this fellow won't be able to create the table, no. And create a table. So we need to have a table. This is mainly to store the student data. And the table is going to have this much of columns, and I haven't given the data types, so it's up to you to select the data types. Faculty ID may be a number, like student ID again number, so it's up to you to select. Just search it and put the correct data type here, so that it will be checked. And any suggestions for the fields also you have to do. You can just put a name and data type, that's okay. But if you think, now let's say, for example, we can say faculty ID is better to have a unique number, likewise. So you think about it. So that's why your explanation, very important, right? So don't take it lightly and just do the commands and get the solution. We expect more than just a basic solution like that. So whatever you understanding, you have to write it up. I come to that analysis. And yeah, usage frequency. Yeah, now this is a frequency, right? So what is the frequency of usage? So you come up with what is the field type, what is the data type of this frequency, what type of a column is this? You need to understand that, and you need to come up with the correct data type. Make sure table resides on the that particular table space. You need to put that table in the particular table space, because that fellow is only having privileges. They are no, that is understood. And you are supposed to select the proper data types, correct? And create another table space. That's the second requirement, called containers. Containers, another requirement, with size 100 MB. Expand the schema to that table space. So this is a solution. You can expand it. You can see the where it's going to head it, because if you get the phase 2 of this particular requirement, we are going to containerize the solution. That's why this table space containers is being created. But I haven't dragged that up to that level, this particular scenario. I have stopped it just here. And so very basically, so that's a scenario. Okay, let me come to this one now. Now you know the scenario, what's the requirement. Now analysis. Each student must do a write-up not more than 300 words. So how we are going to do the write-up? So just very first thing is you need to present your understanding of this scenario. What is the scenario? What kind of explanation you can give? How do you understand? Now, for example, this kind of there is an application here. Going to be there should be application. No? Otherwise, I mean, there is only one table. That's true, but we are going to have a tracking system. That's what it says. You are a database administrator of the university automated system to track the students who are using KN95 marks as good help when they are going out. So that's what you need to first understand the scenario. It's basically a tracking systems kind of application, and you're going to have a particular place to keep the records of the students. So you need to do a very basic definition, very basic explanation, not more than 5 to 10 lines, maximum maybe 5 lines of your understanding of what this particular problem, or I mean what you're trying to solve here. That is the very first thing. Then after that, you can see create a database which is university, and create an Oracle database which is required to manage university student based on following requirements. Then you need to say, okay, now to store this particular data, we need to have a database. So that's why we are creating a database. So, and we are going to have a table stored in a particular table space. And again, you need to understand that particular table we are going to store in a not in the system table space, not in the sysocs, not in the undo, not in the temporary, a table space where we are specifically creating to store that particular table and the user. And we are going to keep the schema on that table space. You can see that. And we are going to put, we are going to limit the size again. You can see, I think quota has been given. So likewise, you need to explain what you are doing. Okay, then further you can see also KN must have unlimited quota. So you can see this unlimited quota. So why unlimited quota? You can explain now. While you are giving the solution for each line, give explanation. That is a requirement of analysis. First, explain your understanding of the requirement. Then for each line, each question, do explanation. So that automatically analysis will come. And give necessary privileges. That is okay, because without the privileges you can't do anything, everything. I mean, create table, you need to have privileges, and create details likewise, and below columns, columns, and you need to justify. Now, for example, if you say student ID is a number, and again you say it's a unique number, and you need to create an index on it. So that's very open, because you can see I have requested to give the create index privilege as well. So you need to think why. I haven't asked you to create an index. This is up to you to suggest. Got it? So index creation privilege, the hint is given. So I haven't asked you to create the index, but you need to suggest it, because definitely if an index is there, we know what's going to happen. We learn now that execution plan on the last day, previous day, how an index going to speed up the queries. So you need to think about those things. So we need a better explanation for each and every column, what is the data type and why you select the data type. And you have to think about the queries as well. When a query is being given, let's say the, number of records is going to increase, not 1,000, 10,000 likewise. So to avoid getting slowness, performance impact of the query. So to reduce that, you can introduce the index. So where are you going to introduce the index? Likewise, there's explanation required for this part as well. And again, that's okay. Make sure that's okay. I mentioned that one, and the last one also. And when you enhance your schema, what is going to happen? That is the last point. We learn that your user is going to get expanded. So you need to explain that one. So that's the analysis mainly. Got the idea? Any questions you can ask?
So when we creating a user and when we assign a password for him, is it essential to mention the expire, or we can give that password for forever?
That's okay. You can make it forever. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Just skip the expire keyword. Don't give that. That's okay. Even if you give, that's no harm, but no issues. Yeah. Okay. Any more further questions? So that means now no need to extend the date or what?
But we have to ready for exam. That's the problem.
Okay. Now it is fine. For the exam, I think Prabhani madam should explain. You are going to get a question from database, and yes, yeah, 30 minutes question. Okay.
So do we get like coding part also?
No coding, because you can't be doing hands-on there. So, but for example, you may have to write steps. Now, okay, let me tell you one example. Now we did the autonomous cloud database we created. No, I demonstrated that. No, so creating a autonomous cloud database and how do you connect? And you may have to write the steps for that. What's the recording and follow up? Not just the steps. You may have to do explanation for the steps. So likewise, other than that, there's no coding. Okay, I can tell you another example. Okay, I think you learn clustering as well, no? Rack, high availability solutions. So now here you can see I haven't asked anything on architecture, no? Database architecture we did, but here just a total, this is a solution. Yeah, for a scenario, how do you come up with a solution? There is no, you need to get the architecture knowledge to do this, but I haven't asked you to explain the architecture or anything. But in the exam question, there can be a question for you to draw up the architecture and explain what you have learned. That's instance architecture, memory structures, and not the background process. And not only that, it can be you may have to do a comparison. In order to how to available high availability, because having a single instance, if something goes wrong for that particular instance, it crashes. That means you are going to lose the ongoing transactions. No? So that's why we discussed the high availability. You may remember the clustering. So the comparison basically, I'm not going to ask the deep end. We haven't learned the deep ends, but basics we have learned. No? What is a real application cluster and how it's going to prevent the failure, server failure, site failure. You may remember we discussed the data guard even. Primary sites, standby sites, those things you need to get familiar. Exam question. Okay, I'm just giving you hints, right? It may be not 100%, but yeah. So it's going to be because 30 minutes, you need to, there will be some challenge on that question for you. Okay, any other questions? Are you okay with this? Okay, so if it is okay, so what are the general things that you are thinking? I mean, for your learning aspects, anything else that you need to discuss with me? You think that if we discuss this one is better for your career and likewise, so you can ask anything like that if you have it.
When I go for a cloud engineer, what are the things that I should more master about it?
Okay, cloud engineer. Okay, the very first thing is in the channel, the cloud industry overview gives you all the roles. I think I mentioned that one, no? So in there, there's a separate thing which justifies each role and cloud associate architect, consultant, cloud engineer. These are different roles, no? So just watch that one. But for the time, let me just tell you like this now. From 2021 2022 there are now, especially in 2022, we are going to have new trends. I will publish them in the channel also. There will be a session I am going to publish indicating all the IT trends and technology trends which related to 2022. Now in 2022, mainly as a cloud engineer, you may have to think about how to build cloud native solutions. Cloud native solutions. Got it? So what do you mean by cloud native solution? Now we have been doing lift and shift. No, you understand what is lift and shift, because when you do a cloud migration, you need to migrate. On the premise, there is the application is running and you need to just I mean, lift and shift to the cloud. Lift and shift means you are not going to do a redesign, re-architecting. As it is, you are just moving to the cloud. When you do a migration, you may have to think about the code level migration. Got it? And data migration, application separately migration, likewise. So different migration aspects are there. And initially, you need to select the most less impacted application modules to be migrated. Now, this is when you're doing this, if you have to re-architect and redesign your application, that is not lift and shift. Lift and shift means you are just as it is moving to the cloud. But now with 2021 and 2022, what the suggestion is not to do those things, but to start building your application on cloud itself. That's what cloud native application is. Cloud native. So as a cloud engineer, your future is on that, going on cloud native applications. So to do that, you have languages like, I think you know these latest things, TypeScript, and even now PHP is in demand. And there's another, I think most demanding one called Crust CRUST. I think this one, I had that one here. Let me just show you. Rust, this one of the most popular, becoming popular, and it is 2022. It is one of the top 5 languages, and this one is allowing to build cloud native applications. So as a cloud engineer, and you have this no code, low code techniques, SASE applications, and multi-cloud approach. I mean, now everything becoming hybrid. No, so hybrid model is a different thing now. Because earlier, but when you say hybrid, some part is on the premise, some part is on the cloud. So that is what is I mean, that is what you have been learning. Even I think even in last year, I think for the students, I mentioned in that. But with the pandemic, now the definition for the hybrid business has been changed now. Now, it's hybrid. We can't just no longer tell it is some part on the on-premise and some part on the cloud. That is not. That concept is there. But now hybrid culture means now, I mean, we have the work from home model. No? So some people, some resources are at office, some resources are on home. So we have the digital office is not fixed. I mean, even in some hybrid models, there may not be office physically. Everybody is scattered over a network. So that's a hybrid. I mean, but when you say hybrid, there should be we expect a physical presence somewhere in organization, but all others are virtually connecting remotely. And because now this one is expanding to the business model as well. Not only for the resources, the business model as well. So that's why the hybrid, and it is going for the cloud level, hybrid cloud model. So it has to be redefined, not like earlier. So as a cloud engineer, you have to worry about all of those things in the future, the new trends. Got it? And try to get the certifications, not only a single cloud. That's another very important thing. If you are certified on AWS, definitely get certified on Azure and Google as well. Because having a certification on one cloud in the future, you won't be able to survive. Unless you should have a vendor independent certification, which is generic for all the clouds. Vendor independent certifications are covering across the multiple clouds, across the multiple vendors, But if you do a vendor specific one, you are getting limited to that particular cloud vendors terminology. You may not aware what is happening on GCP if you do Azure certification. So definitely minimum 2 certifications across different vendors, Azure and Google, Oracle and Azure, or AWS and Oracle likewise. So for a cloud engineer, that's another requirement. Got it? Hope you got the idea.
So when we go for as an intern, is it foundation enough, or do we have to go for like administrator level?
In which one? In cloud or
in cloud?
Yeah, it's like this. Now, don't think in that way. That mindset you have to change actually. Don't think I'm just a student at the moment. Okay, now you are in the university. No, that we need to change this culture. The student mindset. You are thinking you are in the university and you are in the academic level, but don't think in that way. Being even in the university, you start preparing your mind for the level of the industry. So that's what I am also doing. You are no longer a student. You are no longer, a beginner. So you are even now you are preparing for the industry. That's what you should do. So the intern is just a name. From now onwards, come up with the solutions. Try to do the POCs. I think in the channel letter also I have addressed the competence level. I don't think I have shown it to you. Videos I have categorized the competence level from CP1 to CP10, CP20 to likewise. So you start doing POCs now, proof of concepts. You think about the problem and you try to solve it. We are a POC. When you get familiar with POCs, come up with the second level. Integrated solutions by integrating different components. For example, now you want to build a solution like this. Let's say you are going to go for Oracle Cloud and you want to do some analytics. Got it? So now first thing is you need to select a place to store your data and you are going to do analytics. Now to do analytics, you can't just have a relational database and do the analytics. No. So you need to come up with a solution how I'm going to present my data to get my dashboards done in real time, to get the business insights. Because analytics means what? It is not just what is happening now or what is happening in next week. You need to get the predictions, insights. What's going to happen in the next 6 months? What is my prediction? What is the prediction for the business for the next 6 months? Likewise, analytics. So to do that, you need to get these patterns of data, how the data is changing over a particular time period, the patterns. And you can't just do it using a relational database. So what is the database? How you are going to convert my OLTP data into a form that I can do analytics? So likewise, and then you may have to think about some AI technique, artificial intelligence. If you want to, you can link machine learning as well. So likewise, now I am talking about different components, a data layer, analytics layer, reporting layer. So look at that. So that's how you should think about a solution. So think about a solution like that and plan how do you implement it from now onwards. So when you come up with that mindset, when you just trying to engage in the industry, you all have already break that mindset of internship. Otherwise, now if you think, okay, we are just learning the theory and we are just blind on the industry, what is happening in industry, and then what's going to happen? You are already created your gap. From the mind level, you have already keep the gap. You have created in a silo. So when you jump into the industry only, you will realize, okay, there's a gap, huge gap. We need to adapt and we need to train and we need to get into the technologies. No, that should not be the way. Now itself start like that. And if you have any question, I think I have given phone numbers as well, and you can reach out me for any explanations further. Got it? තේරුණාද ඒක? අන්න එහෙම හිතන්න. Okay. Any other questions like that? Yeah, these are this Gartner analysis have taken. Okay, these are too advanced for you, but this is about 2021-23 emerging technology roadmap for large enterprises. And we need to do that. Don't worry, I will summarize those things and put it in the channel so you can learn it from there. I put it the simplified way. This is a bit complex. Emerging technology roadmap, and also a lot of things are there because 2022 why is a massive technology change due to the digital transformation. And because this pandemic has triggered a lot of digital initiative, it has fast tracked. So therefore, new technologies has been emerged in a rapid manner, not like the previous year, 2020, 2019. No, this is very rapid manner. New technologies has been emerged. So we had to adapt that. So that's a challenge. So it's not a, I mean, big thing. So always innovate. That's the thing. Innovate with the technology, make every second innovative second, and you are facing the challenges. Everything is a challenge. So likewise, continue. So therefore, automatically you will come achieve your target. Don't get into the mindset that this is difficult, this is easy, I need to learn always, right? Always adapting with the change. If you become change resilience, you can't survive. Change adapt to nothing. If you become I mean laggard, and if you stagnate in a single place, you will be in big trouble in the upcoming future. Always go with the change. Go with the change, move with the change. That's what. Adapt quickly. That's the only way to survive in the market, in the industry in the future. Otherwise, you will get kicked off. නැත්නම් ඊට පස්සේ තමයි කියන්නේ යුනිවර්සිටි එකෙන් එළියට ආව ජොබ් නෑ. No, that is not. It's nobody's fault. It's your fault. So you need to adapt the change. Start now itself. So any questions? Yes, can ask. Yeah, any discussions? Yeah, so this one actually cloud industry, yeah, you have a cloud portal is there. No, I think you'll have, you may have seen that one. In the playlist, you have the cloud portal. This one now. Here you have. In the cloud portal, I think lesson session 607 should be 607. I have categorized these job roles and just take a look at it. But don't worry, I'll be updating this one. This is 2021, no? And I'll be updating the 2022 one very soon. And now it is almost started, so you will get the latest. But of course, this is just 6 months old. But anyway, things have changed. For the 6 months, there has been a massive change. So we need to get updated. Okay, and again, Kubernetes containerization is a must. I mean, in the future, even in cloud, you have the serverless architecture, event-driven architecture, and you must learn those things. And yeah, containerization, event-driven, serverless, and no-code, low-code, as I mentioned, and hybrid and multi-cloud. So these are new things. Okay, any other questions? Yeah, this is no ops because DevOps now that's another thing. DevOps, the word it looks like it's going to be hidden. DevOps will be there, but this word may not be appearing because things are getting changed. So no ops also there are no operations because development and operations combination of this no. So here the operations part may be fully automated because of these tools, automated tools. So via AI, artificial intelligence will be automatically managing the operations part. So therefore the DevOps may not appear as it appearing now. Then when it appear DevOps PA, right? But it will take a different pace, definitely. What are the new industrial trends in networking and security field? Yeah, this I'll upload those things, and I don't think 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Don't worry. I'll be putting a video covering all of those things, IT net trends and the tech trends in the up 2022 and beyond. So watch that video. I'll explain those things in great detail. That's fine. In the channel I'll be uploading, because when very short this particular one which I just showed you earlier. Now this one will cover most of those things. You can see the network part is there separately. This is the network part. The question is there, and you can see this is the future of networking. You can see the service mesh. Most of things may be new for you. Container networking, virtual private and software defined SDNs and multi-cloud networking, internet based networking. Here you can see a lot of things are there. Wi-Fi and NFP, SIG. So this is for networking. And for security, we have here application security orchestration and zero trust. This mobile. Even in mobile is going to be definitely cross-platform. Cross-platform mobile. We are no longer not going to have this separate application for Android, separate for iOS. No, it's going to be cross-platform. One app across all the platforms. Endpoint protections, EPP. You can see SASE, SAC, and SaaS delivered IAMs. This is for security, MDR, DAST, firewall, and new things. SDR, SOA. Oracle is very popular on this. Got it? So this is for security. But I'll explain it. I'll explain in the channel in more detail. And this one, I think you can make a access. Do you want me to upload this one? Do you think will you be able to grab this? I'm not sure. Make upload can LMS එකට.
නැත්නම් link එක හරි share කරන්න.
මේ link එක ඇත්තට ඔයගොල්ලන් මේ ගන්න බෑ access නැහැ.
නෑ LMS නෑ.
Okay. Okay, I'll upload this. Okay, great. Okay, so any more questions like that? Okay.
So zero ops meaning which means we do not need the operational part doing manually.
Oh, my slide is now zero ops means now we have the developer, okay, when the implementation, DevOps, no. The developer commits everything, and once the deployment takes place means application is live, you know, go live. Then to make sure the availability of the application, operation teams has to make sure it is always up and running, no. That is where the operations come. To make sure the availability of the application always accessible. Got it? Now for them to make sure always accessible, the infrastructure always has to be ready, stable, with higher stability, without downtime. Now at the moment, there is a lot of manual work involved here. That's why there's a separate ops team, operations team. But no ops means in the future, this human interaction will go away. That's why. So that's what we can see. These are the trends, DevOps trends 2022, but I'll upload this in the channel. No ops, this is what? No ops. Eventually, operations workflow will become fully automated with minimal need for manual interaction. This is with linked with AI. AI ops. There's a separate thing called AI ops, ML ops, machine learning operations, AI ops. So by combining AI and ML, so this ops part will be fully automated. That's what. Observability, monitoring, those things are there now. So those things will be fully automated. That's what it means. No ops means that. How the idea?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. So no worries, channel is there. Ultimate everything freely you can watch. So that's the whole purpose of the channel. So keep the eye on it. So everything will be uploaded. The necessary latest trends will be uploaded in the channel. And we have a lot of things here: BSOPs and value stream management, remote DevOps, and DevOps for ERP. Okay, there was Swift left, and a lot of things are there. And not everything will be taken, but I need to summarize these things, and I'll be uploading those things. So skill shortage almost expected. We know now the Great Resignation has started in Europe and US regions due to this pandemic. So a lot of job opportunities has been created. The work culture will be getting changed. I mean, you need to prepare to work anywhere remotely, virtually. That's what you are just going to get plug in, and that's what it's kind of a hot seat. You just plug into work and unplug. That's what. The in the future, I hope this particular permanent working man. I mean, you are just getting to the organization and you are just getting hired from a single organization and getting paid from that particular payroll. I don't think that culture is going to continue, because you just have to be, if you are a very highly skilled person, you just have to plug in a particular place and you just give the solution, and to unplug from there and plug into another place and give the second solution likewise. So that's the culture we are expecting in the future. But to adapt that culture, you need to make sure you are having multiple skills. That's a requirement. Just like this, you are just having a database skill or just one programming language and just a developer, that won't work. Now, database also is going to be just a component. For example, in DevOps, it's just going to be one component. Just because you become a database administrator, no, you are not going to be in demand. You need to know how do you combine the database in the rest of the picture, in the DevOps culture, in the containerized culture, in NOPS, and in cloud native, how the database is going to play that role. So you need to understand that. Earlier, I mean, if you look at 2 to 3 years back, before 2020, just alone the database administrator was high demand. No? Any database administrator, maybe SQL Server, maybe Oracle was in high demand. But now the things have changed. Okay, right. Right, all right. I hope we are up on time. I can't have another one at 9. Any questions? Yeah, you can have one more question. Okay, so I think you understood the assignment as well. So all the best for the assignment. Do your best, and we are going to have one-to-one discussions like similarly for the last batch, or we did the same.
So is it will be in after the exam?
Yeah, after the exam. After the exam, there is no hurry. Prabhari madam will let you know after the exam. So it will take more than 1 month actually for that. Okay. And be safe. Yeah, go ahead.
Will we meet again?
Most of the cases the assignment discussion, no? I don't think, as I said, this is the last session. Assignment one-to-one, we'll meet again. And I think, but your batch, this is your 3rd year, right?
Yeah, we are still in the 3rd year.
In the fourth year, I'm not sure because for last batch I did microservices as well. Probably for another module. Probably. Yeah, not sure. Let's see. Anyway, keep in touch. I have given the contacts as well. So even the previous batches, they are still talking with whenever there's a critical issue come, they are asking the solution. So I'm supporting them. So you can keep in touch like that. Okay, and stay safe. And I got to know that exams are going to held physically, but still my suggestion is you can do virtually. Still, that is the best. Whoever said and done, still pandemic is not over. And you can't fight with it, right? What you can do, stay safe and follow the best health practices. That's the only solution, only way forward. And yes. Great. Then have a great time. All the best for the assignment. So we will meet again. Okay, no? Okay. Then good night from here.